How long does it take to build a swimming pool? Well, I mean, of course, it depends on the type of pool you're building, but let's run through the spectrum here to give you a general idea what you're dealing with. An above ground pool kit can usually be knocked together in like 2 to 3 days, like a weekend, and you can put one together and be filling it with water and ready to swim. That's just how fast they are. I mean, this doesn't include like extensive decking or anything like that, but the basic pool kit itself, up in a couple of days, no problem at all. So moving on to in-ground swimming pools, it's obviously a little bit of a different animal here. And a vinyl liner pool, on average, could take 2 to 3 weeks to install. Yes, you can install them faster than that. Yes, you can install them slower than that. But I think that the average time frame, if you had a contractor who's kind of there just working on that project and not, also juggling a bunch of other projects and stuff at the same time, you're going to find 2 to 3 weeks is about what it would take to put that kit together to the point where you're filling it with water and in theory you could swim. Again, like maybe this includes some decking because you could definitely pour some concrete decking in that time, but not an extensive backyard landscaping project in 2 to 3 weeks, more like just the pool project itself. So fiberglass pools are probably a pretty similar time frame. Like they actually go in the ground really, really fast. Because it's dig the hole, boom, drop it in, it's done, right? Like, but it's not done. There's plumbing and a little bit of landscaping and decking and the equipment installation and stuff. So 2 to 3 weeks again is kind of a reasonable time frame for a fiberglass pool installation, assuming that it was just an expedited process and it wasn't being held up by various different stages of an adjacent construction project, like the house is being built but you can't do something because you're delayed waiting for something else or rain delays, things like that. Not accounting for those things, I mean, you could install a fiberglass pool in a couple of days. Most people I know don't install a fiberglass pool in a couple of days. They take 2 to 3 weeks as kind of a minimum time frame. Let's talk about concrete pools. The Cadillac of pools. This is cast concrete, ICF concrete, block, shotcrete, gunite, you name it. They're all concrete swimming pools. And the amount of time that it could take to potentially build in the fastest sense could be 6 weeks. I tell people 3 months is how long it takes to build a concrete pool when you stage it out. And if you're like, "Oh, I built my concrete pool in 3 weeks," I'm like, "Well, you did it wrong." That's the reality. Is there's curing time involved with concrete projects, and there's a half dozen specialty masonry applications involved with a concrete pool. The shell obviously is a pretty darn important one. You want to give the shell time to do its thing and cure and gain strength before you stress it out or start exposing it to additional products. Like even just so much as like the thin set and grout. You set the tiles and you grout them. If you read the thin set and grout, it probably tells you that those tiles have to sit, dry, and cure for 14 days, sometimes 30 days if you're using, more advanced products. So how are you going to set your tiles and fill it up in a couple of days if you're allowing 3 weeks before you're putting water on this? You're not following the instructions from the manufacturers. Is the pool together and is it working? Yeah, probably, but it's not as good as following the instructions from the manufacturer to ensure that you get the maximum benefit of the products that you're using and no unexpected consequences of exposing it to water or the stresses like early stress on the concrete because it's still curing, it's not strong yet. About 3 months is how long it should take to build a concrete pool, kind of from beginning to end, assuming that you're following the protocols for the cure time for each stage before proceeding, and then kind of like the whole pool itself. Again, like 3 months could be faster if you had a really great crew. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.